So they actually managed to fix the servers, but not without breaking the chat. In this video, I want to cover what exact Amitoi missions you should actually be doing. Many of you may be missing out on some pretty high value loot. Like, yes, you can actually feasibly obtain this Morgan Raven, which normally only comes from Queen Belandir, along with this Frost Lutrang, normally only coming from Tevent. Both archbosses, and you'd normally think it's kind of impossible since we only get to fight these bosses once a week. But before we get into the details, make sure to jump to your mail and collect the compensation rewards for the service disruptions. Yes, the server was down for like 20 hours and we're getting 200 trade unlock stones, a whole load of star crystals, 2,500 ornate coins, and a whopping 250 rare rune chests. They apologize for the inconvenience. Basically, you didn't really get to play that day. Now, maintenance did also start early unexpectedly, and so a bunch of you did miss the archboss. So those of you in these servers will get the peace boss mode scheduled on the 25th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and the guys in these servers will get the conflict boss for, again, what you missed out on. But yeah, this is pretty great. I'm not going to complain. It did suck that we didn't get to play a bit, but I hope you could find something else to entertain your time. It does really suck that this happens, and you may be thinking that like it's all Amazon Games' fault. They're a terrible publisher, etc, etc. But at least from my experience, I've seen a lot of other games have similar issues and be a lot less transparent with what's actually going on. Do be aware there are also the new lunar celebration drops. Basically, if you accumulate watch hours on Twitch, you can get a bunch of extra rewards here as well, and you'll need to find a creator to actually watch who's streaming. There's great guys like Canon or Whelps who know what they're doing and are a good follow who have these drops enabled. You will have to do a bunch of account linking and so on to get that set up for yourself. Personally, not gonna bother with it. You're not missing out on that much. But yes, we did get an absolute ton of ornate coins now. And you may be wondering what to actually spend it on. Honestly, there's not that many things. Like, I personally would advise against the morphs, as they only give like 3 growth points. So unless you're a collector or really like the look of them, they're not really worth that many ornate coins. Same with the Amitois. The only benefit is to add to your amount effects, which you're capped at 25, and they won't add to pal synergy, and otherwise it's just giving a bonus in the ruins, so you don't need that. And the new one is the same, bonus in the ruins, so they're just collector items. Same with the titles and pretty much the emote too. So what you're left with is all of this. I highly recommend getting the purple skill books, the purple growth stones. I will buy these ones here, try and get them every month. They're pretty good value, 200 coins for 20 of them. Again, skip on the blue ones. You can get all of your trade extracts here as well, along with your ink. Make sure to get your skill omnipotence growth books as well. And then there's also the rune chests. You can get 100 runes here for 500 ornate coins, and then you're left with training dew. It's going to be up to you if you need the dye or the sewing thread, depending on how much you're into messing around with your fashion. And that's honestly it. I wouldn't at this point actually get precious blessing pouches. I would save your ornate coins for when we potentially get tier 2 blessing pouches. These honestly have been falling off hard. The rewards aren't worth much these days anymore. And getting these contracts isn't so important either. But let's jump to Amitoi Expeditions. And yes, you can actually take away a load of different morphs, whether they're the dash morph, glide morphs, and even swim morphs, along with a whole host of different Amitois. And the way to exactly see which item you can get based on which expedition is by inspecting these little pouches. For example, here in the Raging Wilds, you're going to get this blue pouch, and what you want to do is inspect the chance info. Clicking there, you can then select group 2, which is a 3.33% chance to get, yes indeed, this Mystic Dash Morph. And this is one of the good ones. It's going to give you 15 growth points, helping you a long way to level that up. You might not be aware of this because when you click how to acquire, it's just going to say you have to do like dynamic events. And depending on the server, this might be pretty easy for you to get rank 1 to 10, obtaining that morph. So perhaps this may not be the expedition you want to do. And ultimately, if we have a look here, all of these different expeditions have different rewards. You again check the chance info and you can see this one has this dash morph. The Monolith Wastelands has the Raging Eagle glide morph. Now this MWIM guy put together some sheets. You can see exactly which expedition is going to give what reward, and you can check out his YouTube channel here, although he did say he quit. There are these expeditions as well, these two, and then this is the list with the 19 different expeditions. He very nicely posted this on Reddit for us all. Be sure to give him an upvote. And yes, just to be aware that all of these expeditions have those unique rewards, and that's ultimately what you're going for. This expedition has a 6.6% chance to give you this Amitoi, which you might think you could only obtain during the dynamic event, and you might have been struggling with that. So make sure to pick your expedition based on those rewards. However, if you feel you're going to always be super unlucky and say never get it, well, you can be defeatist, and otherwise just go for the expedition that gives you these cooking ingredients like salt or protein that can be useful for those specific cooking ingredients that actually need those reagents. The rest here generally stay the same, and you'll always get the exact same amount of Abyssal Contract tokens. And ultimately, the most efficient way is to generally, yes, spam the 1 hours, but if you're not going to be coming back every 1 hour, be sure to set it at a greater time, and if you're going to sleep, have it set at 8 hours. And the easy convenience time is just 8 hours. You do of course also ideally want to have Amitois that have a boost, so this green arrow, in your expedition in that area, as they will give you a higher chance to say get these packs. On average, you need about like 33 of these packs in order to have that good chance to obtain the reward. Although there's a higher chance on some of them, like the fishing rod, you only need to open like 23 odd packs, and you can look through for yourself. Most of the morphs are just 3.33% chance, which is on average about 33 packs to get. And so I just wanted to highlight this for you guys because a lot of you don't really seem to be aware. It's not exactly displayed clearly in game like you may be used to. You inspect how to obtain said morph by clicking how to acquire, and it doesn't exactly list you can get it via those expeditions. You might be super unlucky farming Tyrant's Isle and never get this one. Well, you can get it through expeditions then. So you can look through all of the different expeditions for yourself, inspecting the rewards, or you can cross-reference from this little list and just make sure you're not doing an expedition where you already have said group 2 reward. And yes, you may have noticed this swim morph, which seems impossible to obtain normally, coming from the archboss Tevent, is actually dropping simply from the first 2 Amitoi expedition that you done upon playing this game. Just here at a 3.33% drop rate. Far more reasonable than farming an archboss once a week. That's the exact same thing with the Morgan Raven. You can do your sandworm lair. It drops here to 3.33% chance. And it's the same with the Moonlight Desert. So yeah, those morphs are actually far more accessible than you may have thought. And yes, there are these fragments you can obtain, and when you do get them, they are bound, and every single expedition here in Stoneguard gives Queen Belandirs, while every single expedition in Lastland gives that Tevent soul fragment. And if you haven't already got this Amitoi, which I haven't, he can actually be super good to give you this item chance, and I just am left to get him for the 1.5% bonus. He also contributes to this Mastery XP bonus, and this one too. But yes, you can go to the Dominion event. Depending on your server, it could be pretty easy to get him. You need rank 10. maybe go sometime late at night and there'll be only a few people there. It just has to be a Dominion event, meaning it can't be like the current co-op version of the event. As you can see, doesn't drop it. Once again, be sure to claim your free rewards. Don't give AGS too much of a hard time, but don't go easy on them either. We all make mistakes sometimes, and hopefully they learned from, what happened, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Personally, I think we need to catch up with the Korean servers as quickly as possible, as then all the updates can happen together, all the devs are working on the same thing, and not having, say, 2 split studios, as that's probably what's causing issues right now. However, as per the recent server merge blog, that's going to last up until February the 27th before they get this full process finished. So it's highly unlikely that we'll get Talandre, the tier 2 update, before then. So it's again very likely we're going to have to wait at least until March before we even get tier 2. And there's still a lot of content we miss versus Korea, like Nebula Island, the whole artifact system. We still need to get resonance as well, purple runes. And there's still a lot of content that we are literally just waiting for. It's already been made, it's just waiting for when the devs think we are ready for it. But that's it for now. A special thank you to all these channel members for their added support. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.